Lindsay. How are you?
Good, Michelle. How are you? What's shaking? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Lindsay, did you ever play the game Life as a kid?
Of course. I used to love Life. I remember I liked it more than Monopoly or really any other
Yeah.
game. Yeah, the game of life.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit. Do you even remember? Because
I
I
don't
can't.
remember.
It's hard for me to
No.
remember, but I know that it was fun and you got to have your little pieces and put them in the car, right?
Yeah, there was a car. It was kind of chugging along, right? That's all I remember about it. But I mean, what is this relate? How does this relate to today's topic? Board
Well,
games.
well, it doesn't, but no, the word life does.
Yeah.
So today, because today we actually have a listener question dealing with the word life, a question about an expression that people say, and we're gonna really get
Yes.
into that. That's gonna be very interesting.
Mhm.
But Lindsay, guys, we want to remind you that the very best place to listen to the All Ears English podcast is in our app, right, Lindsay?
Yes, 100%. 100%. That is the place to go to have the full All Ears English experience. So, when you are a premium user in the app, you get to tap on keywords that we've selected for you to see their meanings, to see sample sentences, and to
Right.
save them in your personal power list is what we call it, which
Yes.
means you have your personal bank of All Ears English words you've learned on this show. So you don't have to write them down, put them in a notebook, lose the notebook. Pages are flying all over the place. No, we don't want to do any of that, right, Michelle? No.
No, we don't. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I really love those real time transcripts. Those are
Yes.
amazing. So,
Yep.
guys, to get that app, go to allearsenglish.com/app,
Yes.
APP.
Yes, excellent. Go over there, guys. Now, let's get into today's topic, Michelle. This question comes from, wow, but I have a hard time pronouncing the first name, Kodabaksh Osaini, right? Should I
Okay.
read the question?
Sure.
All right. Special hello to the great hosts of All Ears English. Well, hello, back to you.
Hi.
This is Kodobaksh from Afghanistan, and I've been listening to your podcast for more than 7 months. I'm really
Aw.
enthusiastic about it. Oh, that is
Thank you. That
wonderful.
means a lot to us. Appreciate that.
It absolutely does. In fact, your podcast is very helpful and effective. By the way, I have some questions for you. My question is, what is the meaning of the phrase to get a life? I look forward to hearing from you. Oh, it's a
Oh,
great question.
this is a great question. And
Mhm.
this listener also asked another question, but we are going to see if we can get to that at a later date. But thank
Mhm.
you for both of those questions. So yeah, get a life. Ooh.
You know what? For some reason, the first thing that comes to mind is the show The Simpsons and how rude that show was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Bart Simpson was the rudest. I wasn't even allowed to
Yeah.
watch The Simpsons in the
Oh,
90s. Like it
really?
was one of those forbidden TV
Forbidden.
shows for
Yeah.
me.
Uh,
Because it was so rude. I could imagine him saying that to, what is it, Lisa?
right.
Bart
Lisa,
and
his
Lisa's little
sister.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's true. I could see that. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Lindsay, when you hear get a life, how
Ugh.
does that sound? Lindsay, get a
Extreme
life.
extremely rude. Yeah, we would never say that to each other. I mean, this is something honestly kids say, teenagers say to each other.
I don't even know
Um,
if that's true because they could say a totally different slang right now.
oh, you're right. Yeah, no, who are we to be teaching
Yeah,
teenagers slang right
exactly.
now? That's a
We
good
should
point.
have like some teenagers on. We should.
I think we have some teenage listeners probably, but
I mean,
I think
guests.
sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. And learn the teenager slang right now, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
I
would be
love it.
interesting.
Let's say this is
So
something teenagers said to each other in the 90s. Let's say that.
right,
Right.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So, we're gonna, but okay, we don't shy away from topics. We don't shy
Nope.
away from something just because we say, oh, people don't really, that's not a great thing
Yeah.
to say. That's not a nice
Sure.
thing to say. We want to teach you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the
The good, the
everything.
bad, the
Uh,
ugly. Yes.
right. So, so we're gonna go into it. I mean, Lindsay, what does it mean if someone says get a life?
It basically means that someone is maybe spending too much time thinking about something or doing something that the other person, the person saying it, deems to be useless or unimportant or boring or lame, maybe.
Yeah.
It's basically judgy, and it's saying like what you're spending your time on is not important. right?
And
Yeah.
sometimes just in an argument with somebody, it might not even have to do with anything. They might just say, "Get a life," right? It's
Yeah.
not even necessarily about anything. It's just an insult.
Yeah, it's just kind of an insult. Yeah. An immature,
Right.
let's say it's an immature insult. And also, even if our listeners don't, I know a lot of our listeners personally, I don't see them using this, right? But they also watch movies where they might hear this, right?
Right, exactly. So it's
Yes.
good to know what it means and that you should pretty much avoid it, but we'll talk about it.
Mhm.
So let's do we're going to do 2 role plays to start us out to show how this could be used.
All right.
All right, here we
So,
go.
all right. Yes. Mhm.
Did you hear the latest celeb gossip, Lindsay?
Oh, Michelle, get a life. That stuff doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm saying that you're spending too much time and energy paying attention to celebrities, and I'm judging that, and I'm saying that's irrelevant, right? Not
Right,
important.
not
Yeah.
important. Right. Now, if we're good friends and you can say this in a joking way,
Yeah.
I believe. But you have to be really careful and you have to kind of have that rapport with that person already. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
whip that out with a new friend.
Right.
I mean, but you could. I mean, if we're just get a life, but if it just really, it kind of depends on your intent and how you think what you know about that other person. Can they take a joke? Are they going to be offended by that? We have to think about
Mhm.
all these things. So it is definitely not something that I would say, oh, this is something you really have to introduce to your vocabulary right away. Put
No,
this in the
yeah.
conversation. This is like a very we don't know what's going to happen with this
Yeah.
one. So
Or I would say even more so like a brother sister. Like, could you see yourself? I know you said you joke around with your brother a lot. You have a really like humor based relationship,
yes.
joking. Could you see yourself saying that to him if he makes a joke and
Yes.
a comeback? It's your comeback or something, right?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
So with that kind of person, those people in your life that Lindsay, do you have anybody that you can think of that's like you just kind of throwing
Yeah.
jabs and
Yeah, for sure. I have a few people that I would, it's like things are a little softer. There's more playfulness
yeah.
around your connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
definitely my
Mhm.
brother. He needs to get a life. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Let's do another role play, shall we?
Okay.
I just think it's so amazing to look through all the museum websites and decide what to do.
Lindsay, get a life. That sounds so boring.
Oh, that reminds me of something that my partner and I did on my birthday a couple of years ago. This is the
Yeah.
nerdiest, but it's the funnest thing to do. So we went down to the public library. It was a really hot August 3rd in like 2023. And we went into the microfiche, Michelle, and we looked up August 3rd of all these different years to see what was happening like in 1899, like all
Oh,
these
that's fun.
old newspapers to get like, I don't know, it's sort of like a historical
That's really
context.
interesting.
It's a real nerdy, but I could see someone saying, Lindsay, get a life. That is so lame. You spent your birthday in a library looking at microfiche. I mean, what is
That's really funny. Well, but it's true. So something like that, when you say it like that, it's humorous, right?
Yeah.
If somebody said that to you who you were close with,
Yeah.
you'd probably laugh, right? Because
Yeah.
you're also acknowledging to yourself that that's like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
like kind of, but I actually think that that's really cool. Does anything stand out?
It's more, and I was actually thinking I should do some episodes on what I found. And just the way vocabulary has changed and sentence structure is dramatic. The way things are phrased, the words that are used.
Yeah.
So in some ways, things sounded really crass because there are words we don't use anymore.
Interesting.
And in other ways, they sounded very like formal.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really weird. Maybe I'll go back and get microfiche
Yeah.
again this year. And
I think that's a cool thing to do. Why not?
Yeah.
So okay, but yeah, a very good example.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it can be used to tease if you know someone well. Like here's another example of how it could be used in kind of a fun, like a fun loving way. So here we go. Here we are sisters, and I am known for being obsessed with baking.
Okay, yeah. Baking again?
I'm just trying to separate these egg whites.
Oh, Michelle, get a life already.
Ha ha ha. Right.
Yeah. So you're really, and it's true. I think it's cool to be obsessed with things. I think it's cool to have niche talents and
Yeah.
interests, right? These days, especially, everything is niche now. We're all
Right.
obsessed with something, baking, making
Right.
bread. In the pandemic, everyone was so obsessed with
Yeah,
baking
the
bread,
bread.
right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we just bought a pasta making machine. Well, like one of
Oh.
those ones that you crank.
Uh-huh. I've
Uh,
seen them on TV. Very
Yeah,
cool.
so we started making pasta, but we realized very quickly that we don't necessarily have
The-
time for that. But we have done it, and we've already done it twice, and it's fun.
Oh,
So
I
yeah, there's
bet.
always something that you get into, like
Yes.
these phases, or maybe longer
Mhm.
than a phase.
Sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Gardening. People are really into gardening. A lot of people. And so, but I sort of teased you, right? And we must,
yeah,
again, we're sisters. So I do
it's
kind of
all
have a
good.
license to do this probably. And I said, oh, Michelle, get a life already. And what about that as a bonus, Michelle, already? Oh, that one deserves another
Oh,
episode, I think.
oh, I'm
Uh-oh.
gonna write that down. Okay.
All right, guys, hit the follow button. We'll come back to that in another episode. That's a really important one for our listeners to understand.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Or let's do another little that we're full of role plays today.
Mhm.
So and that's good because it signifies how this is such a back and forth.
Yeah.
So here we are, childhood friends, and we do have that sarcastic relationship. All
Okay.
right.
Yes.
So okay, I'm trying to get to watch every Star Wars movie before the weekend ends.
Oh man, get a life. Okay, yeah, this is another.
Rude. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see the rest of her
That's
role play.
okay.
Yes, that's another niche, right? Interest. Some people might call nerdy or very
Right.
specific, and another great example, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. And now, Michelle, we mentioned earlier with the microfiche example, people might use this in a self-deprecating way to themselves.
Right.
They might say something like, I
Right.
need to get a life. Like, I need to get a life. Why would I spend a beautiful sunny day on my birthday in a library looking at microfiche? I mean,
And that's funny, right? It's funny to
yeah.
hear people kind of tease themselves, right? So in a way, I would say that that's kind of the most fun way that you can actually use this expression. That
Yes.
when it's about yourself, that's the safest way to use it. Kind of teasing yourself. You don't want to do that all the time, but sometimes it is funny.
Yeah, definitely don't overdo that, right? Don't
No.
lead with that all the time, especially when you're getting to know someone new. But yeah, it's good to drop that, to have some context, to know that what you're into might be a little nerdy in other people's perspective. Okay.
Right. So, okay, it's for example, I've spent hours fixing these invitations. Ugh, I need to get a life.
Oh yeah, I bet some people feel that way when it comes to, their wedding even, right?
Right.
It's so much work to plan, and there's so many
Yes.
details that
Yes.
maybe you look back on it and you're like, I was really obsessed with everything. I needed to get a life at that time, but you have no choice
It's
because you have to plan your
true.
wedding. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what happens. Something happens, I think, in everybody's
Yeah.
brain, and a lot of people's brains when it's wedding.
Oh.
A switch flips and you become like, obsessed with a chair, and
Oh.
it's so funny to look back on it. It's like, I don't know like, why would I have cared? I remember there were the basic chairs, and then there were the really fancy chairs, and every
Ah,
website always had that. I think that they're called Shivari chairs, and
okay.
every
Yeah, yeah,
website
yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody, and I was like, "Oh my god, the chairs is
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah,
funny."
yeah. The ones where you probably tie the little bow on the back, right? That's
Yeah,
what
like they're like, with the I don't know, they're just the fancier looking
Yeah.
ones. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I know what you're
so
talking about.
nervous about the chairs. Anyway,
Mhm.
was there
Mhm.
anything in your wedding, Lindsay, that
Oh.
you got
Well,
like
my partner was really excited about the seating charts, but that was something worth obsessing over
yeah,
because it was fun. It was actually really fun to figure out, who do we put next to each other,
that's
who's
funny.
single and we think might connect, that sort of
Ah,
thing.
that's fun.
So the seating charts were a big thing.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law was really obsessed over the pies. I think she called every week to ask about the pies.
The
The
pies.
pies. It was really funny. It became a big joke. Like, how much can we talk
That's
about the
cute.
pies? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you could say, I mean, I don't know your relationship with your mother-in-law, but you could
Yeah,
even say
it's
like,
good.
come
It's
on, get a
good.
life.
No, no, yeah, no, it's great. My relationship with her is great, but it
Aw.
was pretty funny. Like, we did say, okay, it's another call about the pies. Oh gosh, yeah, I love it. What's another example?
All right. So why am I so obsessed with this magazine? I need to get a life, right? Maybe I have this magazine that every month I'm just staring at it. Maybe the celebrity gossip. I don't know.
Totally.
So Lindsay, you already talked about, I mean, what, like, is there anything else that you would say this about for yourself? Something you do, something you're interested in?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, well, sometimes I can get into when I talk about meditation and my Buddhist practice with anyone that's not in it, it can get a little bit like out of context. People might get a little bored because you use phrases and words like the word suffering. We have another way of interpreting that phrase that's not mainstream. You know what I mean? Like suffering to a Buddhist could be you have a hangnail and you're obsessing over it. And if I drop these words that are totally out of context to mainstream people, it can be weird. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So someone might say, Lindsay, get a life. Oh my gosh. Come back, back to earth.
That's funny. I love it. I mean, yeah, for me, it can even be as simple as staying up too late on your phone, right?
Oh, yeah.
I could be getting ready to put my phone down and I'm trying to go to sleep and I could say, oh, I need to get a life. Like I could even say that to myself. So
yeah.
but,
I mean, another thing for me could be with my dog. I get really obsessive over him, and
I just saw.
He's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. But like, I'm like, just on my Instagram feed came up this thing where if dogs drink too much water, they can get really sick. And I was saying this morning to my partner, and it was like, what is in your Instagram feed? You are a paranoid mother, and it's, and so anyways, moving on. But we all have our niche obsessions, right?
Yeah, exactly. So another thing you could say, that would be more, and maybe a nicer thing if somebody is focusing on something that really doesn't matter. You could say something like, let's focus on what matters, right? So it may be somebody's nervous about something or they're obsessing over something little. Like, so for example, with the chairs, somebody could say, Michelle, let's focus on what matters. You are married. You are getting married to Dan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. It is hard though, because you are in charge of planning your own wedding, essentially.
Yeah.
So you want to focus on the fact that you're getting married, but you are in charge of all these details, right?
Yes, exactly. Or another thing, if you wanted to change the topic, you could say something like, let's take our minds off of this, right?
So, and that could be good. You could rely on a good friend to do that. To, let's take our minds off this. Let's not talk about the wedding tonight, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right, let's do one more role play. And so here we go. So we are close friends and I have been working on a puzzle every night for the past 2 weeks.
All right, here we go. Puzzles are another one. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, I think I'm almost done.
Michelle, you are obsessed with this. Come out with me.
I have to finish this.
Get a life already.
Excuse you.
Sorry, I meant to say, let's take our minds off this puzzle and go enjoy some food.
Okay, fine.
And was it you and me that did the episode on excuse you, excuse me, or was that me and Aubrey? I never know.
I think that was me. No. Okay. I know. I think it was me, but I'm trying to find the episode that it was. And
it was. But anyways, guys, go back into our, the last month or so, and we did do a great episode on excuse me and excuse you, and you'll get the context for that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Love it. Let's go through the role play real quick, Michelle. So what did I say to you? You were into this puzzle. You're hooked into it.
Yes, exactly. And then you said, come out with me. And I said, I have to finish this. So you said, get a life already. And there comes that already.
Yeah, get already. And again, guys, hit follow. We will revisit that phrase already. It's really specific how to use it. Okay. And then I said, sorry, I meant to say, let's take our minds off this puzzle and go enjoy some food. So I had to kind of tone it down with more respect, right? And like being more serious, being more explicit and literal.
Yes, exactly.
Good. So Michelle, what's our takeaway for our listeners? What should we keep in mind?
Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing is very interesting because, you have to have the right relationship with somebody where you can say something like this to them, and it has to be lighthearted. It has to be in a silly, teasing way. This is not something you're going to say to the barista who has a lot of pictures of their kid around, right? You're not.
Yeah. And on top of that, play around with using this to refer to yourself, because I do think there's something kind of fun these days and trendy and cool about having niche interests and really being a bit of a nerd in one way or another. You're like making pasta at home, right? Or like baking or doing or microfiche or whatever it is, you're nerding out on it, right?
Yes.
And so using this to refer to yourself, I know I need to get a life, when you're getting to know someone little by little, might
Yep.
be kind of cool because they could see the real you, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. Great question. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
All right. See you then, Michelle. Take care.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.